Hi everybody and welcome back to a Royal Reader. My name is Bambi and today I'm going to be doing my mid-year book haul. First thing I want to say, if I happen to be talking a little bit weird or if I look a little bit swollen on this side of my face, that is because I got my wisdom teeth taken out 4 days ago and I'm still in a bit of pain. So if I happen to be talking weirdly or if I happen to look like I've taken a break for a second, that is why. I can't really open my mouth too wide, so if I'm making weird faces, that's why. I decided to do the mid-year book haul instead of having monthly book hauls because, as you have probably noticed, I have not been uploading quite regularly at the moment. I also just lost track of how many books I was buying within the 1 month because obviously shipping has been a bit out of the craziness at the moment because of all of the viruses from, not all of the viruses, there's only one virus, but you know what I mean. I just decided to lump them all together into one big haul. That's the word I was looking for. I'm going to say I have a lot of books. I have a little bit of a problem. Please don't judge me too harshly. We are all in the same boat when it comes to buying books, okay? So I have a lot of books. I think there's 70 plus books that I have bought since the beginning of the year. I think I started in February was when I started doing BookTube again. So if you didn't know, I did start doing BookTube back in 2016 and then I fell out of love with it all and started university. So I quit BookTube then and then started back up in February of this year. So I felt like I needed to buy a whole bunch of books in order to sort of restart my channel. So there is a lot of books. Let's just get into it. I have lots of books. Now, first things first, I do want to say I have bought quite a few box sets. So I'll just be classifying those as one book because technically I bought one thing, not 6 books in a thing. So that's what I'm classifying. I hope you don't mind. Let's just get into it. So one of the first purchases that I did, just the book. So one of the first purchases that I made was in fact buying a new box set of the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. I had the original first published editions that were all different shapes and sizes and they were just really annoying me, and I wanted to have the box set that had the continuing picture across the spines, so that's what I got. So I have this. Alright, so next thing that I got is the Dark Artificer series. I had the first 2 books in this original edition and then I had the 3rd book in like a massive big paperback version. So once again, me not really enjoying the whole unmatching set, I went and bought the box set of this one as well as the box set of the Dark Artificers because they just matched and it looked well. So yes. Now we move on to my Victoria Swab shelf. That's really hard to say. So I already had a couple of her books, so I just needed to continue collecting the rest of them. So I bought both Vicious and Vengeful in the hardback versions because they were just amazing and I loved how they looked. So I also bought A Gathering of Shadows and A Conjuring of Light to continue the rest of the Darker Shade of Magic series. And then I bought the Dark Duet book to complete the, what is it? This Savage Song Duet? No, what is it? Vicious Verity Monsters series. That one, I think. And then I also got her City of Bones and Tunnel of Bones middle grade series. So yes, I bought those as well. One that I got today is in fact the Percy Jackson paperback box set with the matching spines. You'll notice a theme happening. Coming further down, you can see that I have the entire Illuminae series. I bought all of those for $10 each, so I thought that was a pretty good steal, hence why I have them. So, alright, so here we have Nevernight by J. Kristoff. I bought the hardback, which was very expensive, and so was the rest of the books. They're like $50 each in Australian dollars, so it's taken me a while to try and get the rest of them. And then I have the Aurora cycle, both Aurora Rising and Aurora Burning. So these are the other two books that I bought. I also have Call Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater, and it's with the rest of my Maggie Stiefvater books. Now, my Lightroom can't go down any further, so I'm just going to pull the books off to show you. So I did in fact buy the Strange the Dreamer duology by Laini Taylor. This is Strange the Dreamer and Views of Nightmares, so I bought these as well. To complete the Laini Taylor collection, I also bought the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, which includes Daughter of Smoke and Bone, Days of Blood and Starlight, and Dreams of Gods and Monsters. So I bought all of these. Am I slightly annoyed about the fact that they are not the same size as Daughter of Smoke and Bone? Yes. Yes, I am. I also have the, I believe this is called the Shadow of the Fox trilogy by Julie Kagawa. Julie Kagawa was one of my favorite authors when I was younger. I absolutely adore her Iron Fae series. If you have not read it, please go ahead and do yourself a favor and read them. They are incredible. If you want angsty fairies and magic fairyland and sassy fairies, just go ahead and read it. This is her latest series that I am really super excited to pick up at some point. I believe it is inspired by Japanese folklore, possibly. Now, this box set was definitely, ew, it's all dusty. This box set was one that I had my eye on for quite a number of years, and that is the Harry Potter box set. Now, I do not support J.K. Rowling whatsoever. She is a horrible person, and I won't be buying any more Harry Potter merch at all. This I wanted to have myself. This I bought back in February. My mum has the very first editions of the Harry Potter series. She went to the midnight book releases at the bookstore that used to be in the town that I live in. And so they are very old, very loved, and so I wanted to buy myself my own copy for when I moved out of the home, and so that is what this is. So, yes. Dust all over me. Watch me sneeze and like rip my stitches. Next book that I got was in fact Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood. Actually, my sister got me this, but like I sent her money to go and get me this because I was at work when it was released. So, yeah. Alright, moving on to the other side of the bookshelf. Secret History by Dom Tart. This was a really popular book back on YouTube in 2016, so I never got around to buying it until just now. Next, I got Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. Recently I've been getting into reading more mysteries and thrillers and stuff like that, so I decided to pick this one up because it was really highly reviewed. So next book was a complete and total utter spontaneous book. Like, I should not have bought this book whatsoever, but that is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. This book is beautiful. Like, it has gold sprayed edges, it's big, it's leather bound, it's beautiful. But it cost me $50, and I should not have spent that much money on this book, but I did. So I'll have to read it eventually at some point. Next books I got are the first two books in the Remnant Chronicles trilogy. That's what it is. So that one includes Kiss of Deception and The Heart of Betrayal. This was a really, really popular YA fantasy series back in 2016. So I never got a chance to buying it back then because it was just never available where I lived. So I have them now. Next book that I got is a well-known popular favorite here on BookTube, and that is The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller. Everybody and their dog was talking about this on BookTube a couple months ago, so I had to jump on the train and buy it. Have I read it yet? No, but I will eventually get to it at some point. So the next few books, as you can see, well, you can't really see, but it's here. So I already owned the Star Touched Queen, so I wanted to complete the duology. So I got A Crown of Wishes to complete that duology, and I also at the same time bought Flame in the Mist and Smoke in the Sun by Renee Ahdieh. I got those both as well. These covers are beautiful as well. Like, wow. Next shelf we have here. I have the Lady Helen and the Dark Days series. So I'm currently reading Lady Helen and the Dark Days Club, but I do have the second and the third book as well. I also bought Serpent and Dove, everybody else's BookTube favorite at the moment. I also got Shades of Milk and Honey. This is supposed to be a historical fiction with magical realism, I think, possibly, set in Regency England, so I like that. I also got The Midnight Light by Marie Rutowski. I've had a couple of different pronunciations of it, so I'm not totally too sure. I read her first book, The Winter's Curse, I think, or The Winter's Kiss, and I still have not yet had the chance to buy them, so I am on the lookout for them. But yes, I got this one. Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. This one I am still trying to make my way through it, but I will talk more about that in my wrap-up. Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. This one I've heard a lot of good things about, so I'm excited to get into it. Hopefully I will like it better than I do the Enchantment of Ravens. Next, I bought Furyborn by Claire Legrand. I heard about this on BookTube. I can't remember who was talking about it. I think possibly Olivia Reads Lattes. So yes, this just sounds incredible, so I'm excited to start it whenever I can. Next, I also have The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. Meant to be, I think, like the originals because it's set in New Orleans, it's about vampires, and it has witches, so I'm excited. I like the originals better than I do Vampire Diaries, so I'm excited to get to this whenever I can. Once again, it's a thing. I also bought the entire Farsi trilogy by Robin Hobb. That includes Assassin's Apprentice, Assassin's Quest, and The Royal Assassin. So I have all three of these books. I was going to try and join in on the Elderling along, but I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to because they're already on the last book and I haven't read any of these, and these are really chunky. So yeah. Moving on to the next shelf, I have the entire Witcher series that you can't really see. There they are. I have the entire Witcher series here. My sister is currently reading the second short story collection, so I don't have that right now, but that's where that would go. So I have Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim. This I have heard incredible things about, so I want to pick it up. Then I have the first three books in the Ember and the Ashes series by Sabaa Tahir. I have read the first two books, can't remember much about it, so they got a revamp with new editions released and new covers, so I liked those better than the originals, so I got those ones, although Amazon sent me the wrong cover for Torch Against the Night, so that's great. And then I have the Bone Witch trilogy, which I am sort of in the middle of reading at the moment, kind of liking it, kind of not, you know, and those ones are by Rin Chupeco. Moving on to the next shelf and the last shelf, here we have Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I am excited to start this whenever I can. Then I have Legacy of Kings by Eleanor Herman. I have heard this is a really good adult fantasy series, so I'm excited to start reading it. I believe Reagan from Peru's project spoke about this, so I am excited to pick this up because she has really great taste. I then have The Unspoken Name by A.K. Larkwood. This sounds incredible. One of the book reviewers I watched recently said that it was really good, so I'm excited to pick it up sooner rather than later now. Next, I have The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow. This I have heard mixed reviews about, so I'm not totally too sure how it is going to go, but the cover is beautiful. Look at that. Next, I bought Lovely War by Julie Berry. I have heard incredible things about this. I cannot wait to start it. Then I bought Night House by Leigh Bardugo, and I also needed to complete the rest of the Grisha verse books, so I bought Crooked Kingdom and King of Scars. I also just recently bought the actual Grisha trilogy, so like the Shadow and Bone, blah 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 blah. So I will be having those on the shelf here as well. Bought recently, this is a heavy book, the Inheritance trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. This is a bind up of all 3 books. It is humongous and it is really, really heavy. It's going to take me a very long time to get through this, but at least the text is actually big and it's floppy. We love that for big books. And next for my chunky books, I bought The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Once again, big book. Kind of okay text size. Not really floppy, but I can tell it'll... Ooh! Look at that floppiness. I take it back. And then lastly, we have probably one of the series that I am really, really, really excited for. There is a fluff going into my mouth. The Belgrade series by David Eddings. Now, this is an epic fantasy that was written very, very long time ago. This is the series that my parents decided to name me after one of the characters in it. So my name is actually Sinidra. It is spelt quite weirdly, yes I know, but in some editions of this book it's actually spelled with an X, so I'm glad they decided to pick the one with a C. So yes, I decided to get myself a copy of the newly printed editions because my mum, she does have the original editions that are very, very old and falling apart, so I wanted to read them this year and I didn't want to risk breaking them, so I bought myself the entire series for like 70 bucks. Yeah, I'm super excited to read them eventually. It's an epic fantasy, reminds me a lot of like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, with like a you know, a quest and a road trip type feel. So yeah, go and pick these up. Far out, man. Alrighty, so those are all of the books that I bought for the first half of the year. If any of you guys have read any of these books, please let me know what you thought of them down below, and let me know what books you've also bought for the first half of the year as well. If you'd like to see more of me, then make sure to click the subscribe button down below, and don't forget to check out the links in the description box so you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well as Goodreads. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys in another one later on.